Welcome to Power Podcast with Queen Beauté, where mindset meets transformation. Each episode invites you to awaken your mind, expand your perspective, and rise into your power. Today, we will explore the destabilizing power of partial matches. Yes, here we are, circling back to the conversation of partial matches. It's time for me to share some more of my stories. Let's get specific, talk about the fallout and how we need to shed partial matches and only accept full matches. That's something that I've said in the past. I stressed that in a previous episode. But it doesn't hurt to have a little reminder. Sometimes people aren't paying attention. Sometimes just hearing it again gives us extra impact that wasn't there the first time we heard it. I've mentioned in the past that my core fundamental drive is that I want to leave a meaningful legacy. For me, part of that is helping as many people as possible, empowering as many people as possible by teaching them how to cultivate and activate strong mindsets, empower them to live empowered lives. All right. This is why I do what I do. I want to leave a meaningful legacy. Part of leaving that meaningful legacy is I got to show up. Hi, I need to show up. Let me reintroduce myself. So this is the third podcast episode that I'm recording within 1 week. It's October 2025. I started this podcast January 2025, and I released 4 episodes over 8 weeks. I figured I was going to be on a bi-weekly schedule, get out 26 episodes by the end of the year, be satisfied. However, that was completely shaken up by a partial match. Now, so matches are the relationships that we have. We're full of matches. Relationships make up who we are, whether it's relationships with us and reality, us and others. Relationships are core to who we are. We have so many relationships. What we often do is focused on some of them. We keep some of them in the front of our mind, and then the rest kind of is in the back somewhere or is fallen kind of by the wayside. I had this goal, right? All right, I'm going to release 26 episodes this year. I'm going to publish bi-weekly. I think that's something that I can stick to. That sounds sustainable. That sounds like, yes, we're doing this. It's going to happen. It started like all good, well-intentioned things do. It started well. I batched a couple of them and I figured, okay, let me schedule them out a couple weeks in advance. That way I have time because I knew a certain partial match was coming up and I figured, let me get ahead of this. Let me maybe record now and then schedule it to post in 2 weeks, post in 4 weeks. That way I have time to come up with something else, to release something else after those have posted. What was the partial match? Y'all, it was a job. Of course. Of course it was a stupid job. Of course. Ugh. Let me start again. I enjoy teaching others, training others, retraining others, helping people like retrain their minds so that they can live higher quality lives. That's what's happening when you're living more empowered. You definitely have a higher quality of life. However, there are different ways that someone could go about teaching or training others. It could be, say, in a podcast. It could be, say, a workshop, maybe a keynote speech or a breakout speech that you hear somewhere. It could be through other mediums, video, writing. You could teach people in a classroom, and this is where things get a little dicey for me. On the one hand, hold on. Before that, wait. Let's go back in time. I never wanted to be a teacher. I never wanted to be a classroom teacher. I never wanted to be a classroom teacher because I thought I don't want to teach people's bad kids being disrespected and them acting whatever kind of way. This is what I thought that teaching in a classroom would be like. And I don't want to deal with people's bad kids. Nah, not happening. Not me. Good luck to those who are doing it. Anyway, I knew when I was in college going for a math degree that I did not want to be a classroom teacher. I knew it, and I got angry anytime people actually suggested I be a classroom teacher. It wasn't, people wouldn't suggest it because they knew how I was and they thought it would be a good fit because of ABC reasons. It would be as soon as they heard my major. What's your major? Pure math. Oh, so you want to be a teacher? No, I don't. Oh, well, what do you want to do then? Well, maybe I want to be an actuary. I'm thinking about that. Well, what's an actuary? Anyway, so it was always suggested to me anytime they heard math. They figured math teacher. They didn't think any other way. Me, I know that there are careers in which maybe I wouldn't be doing calculus, or actually with actuary you would, but maybe there were some careers that I wouldn't be doing math, but the skills that are developed from having studied math are transferable across many areas. I knew teaching was going to be a terrible partial match. I didn't think of it at the time as partial matches because I didn't have the vocabulary, I didn't have the awareness, but I was just like, nah, I know I'm definitely not going to do it. Definitely not. For me to actually end up doing it is almost bizarre then, because it's like if I knew I didn't want to do it because it wasn't a good fit, I go do it and it turns out to not be a good fit. Shoot, I was right. Dang it. What was I thinking? Giving it a try anyway. And that's a really short version of what happened. Is I didn't want to be a teacher. I changed my mind, gave it a go, realized I definitely don't want to be a teacher. I came full circle. I came back to I definitely don't want to be a classroom teacher. The value that I extracted, so this is just reframing, the value that I extracted from the terrible partial matches that I've had being a classroom teacher are, I'm glad, I don't regret having been a classroom teacher. I'm definitely not going back though. The value really just comes down to some things I liked, lots of things I didn't. Overall, it's a no. We could look at partial matches. We could always look at a partial match as, well, I learned something. Sure we did. Where would we have been, though, if we had full matches instead? There's that opportunity cost. Like, oh, it wasn't all bad. It wasn't a total loss. That's the language people tend to use. Well, it wasn't a complete write-off because I got this. I learned that. I was able to blank. Those are just excuses that we make though for why partial matches should be normal, and they shouldn't be. Previous episodes, I told you, partial matches are not normal. Stop acting like it is. Stop it. Stop it. They are holding you back. So the whole destabilizing power of partial matches cannot be overstated. Cannot be. And we're getting into more detail in this one. Listen, if we don't have resolve to only accept full matches, I'm talking unwavering commitment, that's when we're led astray. When we accept partial matches as being a good idea or being good enough, this is when we get led astray. I have been led astray many a times. I was recently led astray. So it's October. My first 4 episodes I published over 8 weeks in January and February. Then nothing until October. Come on now. If that's not led astray, I was led astray. It wasn't that I was out, illness, unconscious, couldn't even, look at my phone or open an eye or anything. Nah, I was awake, I was conscious, I was up, moving around, living my life. There were different things that I was focusing on, but I was not making podcast episodes. That displeased me. I was not happy with that. It took a while before I got to the point where I was no longer going to accept it. I was no longer going to accept keeping my gifts and my talents to myself, keeping what I've learned to myself, helping only myself, my husband, just whoever's right here in my inner circle, rather than the broader community, my tribe. When I finally got tired of being misaligned, I got realigned, and here I am blitzing you, dear listener, with mad episodes. Like, I'm still going to hit that goal. I have about 9 or 10 weeks left in the year. I'm going to hit that 26 episodes or more, plus 26 plus, perhaps. And that requires a blitz. That means just getting in there. That's a full match for me, is constantly adding to my legacy and empowering others, encouraging others to live empowered lives by teaching them the power of mindset. That's a full match. That's a full match. I only got here through having faith in the universe, faith in reality, really, because I didn't think I was going to make it. I didn't think I was going to make it here. Let's talk about the partial matches that led me astray. The thinking, the reasoning with the partial matches, which I'm sure you can relate to, that led me astray. A job, number one, was what led me astray, took the wind right out of my sails. Right out of my sails. For me to find myself, I put myself there. I didn't just, wake up that way. But to find myself in yet another lousy partial match, which for me was working as a classroom teacher, just every minute that I was there, and I was thinking about all this content that I had, these ideas that I had for content, and I'd be exhausted at the end of the day, and I'd be stressed out, and I have all this stuff, and so then I wouldn't make the content, and it kept getting pushed out. I mean, just every single minute and day and week that I was there just broke me down so much. That's what partial matches do. They break you down. They do not build you up because they can't. By the definition of a partial match, something key is missing. Something key is missing. One or more key things are missing. That's what makes it a partial match. There's no way that a partial match, missing key things, can build you up. There's no way. But what they definitely do is chip away and break you down. You're not in alignment with it. It's misaligned. How can a system function when there's a misalignment? How can it function well? How can it exceed expectations if it's misaligned? It can't. By being attached, by being tied to partial matches, we are always doing ourselves a disservice. Always. Even though I'm still dealing with a partial match in terms of work, it's not as bad as being a classroom teacher. However, the only reason that I'm even doing that is I'm in a transition period and I currently haven't found a solution for how to get from the partial match to the full match. I have the idea. It's like, you know what? No more classroom teaching. For sure, no more classroom teaching. I'm in a financial position. Thank you, husband. I'm in a financial position where I don't have to be the breadwinner. I don't have to be the breadwinner. So I can work part-time as a math tutor. That's what I'm currently doing. Way better than working as a classroom teacher, but still a partial match. So I can make these excuses like, oh, well, at least I get to work from home because it's remote, it's online. True. That's great. However, I don't want to work oh, do I want to work remotely? Sure. Do I want to do it as an employee? Never. Do I want to do it for way less than my skills and talent demand? No, and yet I am. But at least with this partial match, I acknowledge this is a partial match, but at least it's not completely tearing me down like that last classroom job did. Is it still chipping away? Yes, because every minute that I'm doing it, I'm not doing something that would be a full match. I'm working on this blitz. I'm hoping universe, give me a full match in terms of money. Give me a full match in terms of how I show up for people. Give me full matches. Stop playing with me with these partial matches. It's funny because I can have the framing to look at it in a humorous way. But ultimately, I have to, this is just advice to you too, is I have to do more of what would be aligned to at least try to make that transition period as short as possible. So if we are in a partial match, so let's say we're at some job, working as a teacher, I don't want to be a classroom teacher anymore. Do I want to help people? Do I want to train people? Do I want to teach people? Yes. Not that way though. I don't want to be a classroom teacher. Okay. How can I get from not being a classroom teacher to say podcasting full time, being a full time keynote speaker, launching a digital course? How can I do these things? Well, I have to find time. I have to find energy and start working on those things while I'm in this partial match. I gave advice before that you better not show up with your full self to a partial match. You better not. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I also explained at the time I gave that advice, I don't remember which episode it was, but when I gave that advice and I said, you better not show up with your full self to a partial match, any partial match, I also said the reason is because then you will have nothing left to pursue full matches. The part that I described about making this transition period as short as possible requires that I have energy, that I sit up here and I blitz and I make these podcasts and get the message out, how the message is going to come out. Forget the perfect, the imposter syndrome, get out of here. Get the message out, get the material out, get the value out. Put it out there. I have to have the energy for that. The reason why I suggest, and this is also what I'm doing, what I suggest to put in put your energy into full matches, into things that would pair up with full matches is because because then you are showing the universe, you are shining your beacon. Your fire is a beacon to your tribe. That's something else I said in a previous episode. So you are shining your beacon so that you can attract your full matches. You can't just be matched. You can't just be in, you cannot expect to be tied to a partial match and then somehow a full match will just find you. I mean, maybe you could. Maybe that's how it works in your reality or your dream or a simulation in your perspective. For me, that hasn't worked yet. S- re- Remaining misaligned has not yet, has not yet given me full matches. It's only through me putting in work towards trying to attract full matches that I have started to get them. One example of a full match that I've gotten is my husband, my current husband. This is my second husband. First husband, bye bye. But that was something that was at the front of my mind. It wasn't one of the things in the back. It was in the front of my mind. I want a relationship partner that is like this, this, this. Skip the other stuff. No, not for me. And I'm only going to accept a full match in this particular area, a relationship partner. And I have a full match. Yay, go me. In terms of wanting to get a full match with, let's say, the way that I make money, I have to be doing something towards what I know would be a full match for me, what would be most aligned. If I know podcasting, or doing other ways of, or speaking in other ways, speaking, writing, developing things. If I know those are things that I would do if I was fully aligned, if that's something that was all I had, I didn't have it, I didn't have a partial match that was weighing me down, tripping me up, destabilizing my entire plan and system. If I didn't have that and I knew that I would just be doing speaking and writing and creating content and material products for people to help them live their best lives. If I knew that's all I was doing, then that's exactly what I would be doing. I need to be doing as if. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm sitting here rambling. Listen, I rambled for 20 minutes. I don't mean just now. Maybe I did. Maybe this will be considered rambling. But before this, I had recorded 20 minutes of stuff for this episode and then just deleted all of it because I was like, yo, I'm tripping. How is this coming out? How is this coming out today? You know what? The message, stick with me. The message is going to come out how the message is going to come out. All right, bring it together. Y'all know I have ADD, right? I think I mentioned that. I might have mentioned that briefly. I have ADHD. I was diagnosed with ADHD. And it appears that it manifests a lot. So, I'm not doing anything about it other than living my life. Okay, as I was saying, we need to be doing as if, not acting as if, not pretending, actually doing. If I was a full-time podcaster, what would I be doing? I would be podcasting. I would be creating episodes. I'd be creating, editing, publishing episodes, right? That's what I would do. If I wanted to be a full-time podcaster, it is on the table. If I wanted to be a full-time podcaster, that was my main way of, let's say, getting income, while I'm sleeping, round the clock. It's not a job. I love it with the way that I can empower people, the reach. What would I be doing? I would be making episodes. This is why I'm in the blitz. I'm trusting my reality, my simulation, my dream. If I'm dreaming, or if I'm in a video game, I'm going to be doing stuff that I want to do. I need to be doing as if. If that's what a full-time podcaster would be doing, why can't I do some of those things right now? Why not? If you know that a full match for you, you know exactly what it would look like. You know exactly how you would walk through life. The things that you would do if you had a full match in some particular area, multiple areas. What would that look like? You need to be doing it. That's how you get through this transition. And so here's a couple ways that we can reason why that's the best course that we should take. All right, way number one, because we don't know the nature of reality. We don't know if we're in a video game. We don't know if we're in a really advanced computer simulation. We don't know if this is a dream. We can't prove or disprove any of those things. So we choose what we want to believe. We choose how we want to go through this reality. If in your reality, game, simulation, dream, you would be doing something in particular, do that something in particular. There's no waiting. Why are we waiting? Shoo, I was asking myself that. Like, why are you not? Why aren't you sharing this? You could have shared that. Oh, this is a great idea. Why are you keeping it to yourself? Imposter syndrome was another thing. So that stupid job, that stupid job tore me down. Because I was in a weakened state due to being in this misaligned partial match, that's where some cracks in the thinking came up. It was the imposter syndrome, like, well, actually, like, can I keep this up? Am I even helping people? Am I gonna be helping people? Is this even valuable? Or should I change course? That's actually what I was thinking. Like I had low points. I'm gonna call those low points. Low points where I actually thought that this was not the path, which is ridiculous because now that I'm re-strengthened, I know it's the path. I know it is. It's just that when we're in partial matches, we tend to get befuddled. And this is the nature of being in a partial match. They got us thinking crazy. You hear me? They have us thinking crazy. Partial matches have us thinking crazy, acting crazy against our best interest. And I know this, and I know this from all of my experiences. I know this. So for me to be led astray, I got beat down, and I'm still dissecting on how I let that happen. So right now I'm talking this out. I'm talking through it to get to the bottom of it. I feel like it comes down to me forgetting that reality is negotiable. I forgot. I forgot. I got so caught up in the like little details of whatever this reality is, so caught up in some dumb stuff that I forgot to consider maybe this is just a dream and I'm spending way too much time on some nonsensical side quest. Like hello, where is my actual adventure? Where is it? I forgot. I forgot. I forgot to consider that, but I'm back. I'm back. I remember y'all are getting blitzed. You're hearing me. You're hearing my voice all the time, and that's that. You are going to get empowered. Okay, you keep showing up. I keep showing up. We're making changes. This is how we're doing it. You know, something sinister about partial matches is they tend to give us results now. Partial matches tend to give us results. I'm not optimal results. I'm not saying optimal results, but they give us results now. This is so sinister. Hear me out. If I said, okay, well, I just need a job. I just need something to pay the bills. Countless number of partial matches await. They are traps. They are traps because as soon as I step into one, that's it. I'm like, all right, well, now I'm getting money. Now I can pay the bills. I don't realize I'm trapped. The interesting thing about full matches is when we first connect to them, we don't usually get results right away. Not in the same way as with a partial match. A partial match, we have a problem. The partial match is supposed to be a solution for now. So it feels like, okay, our problem is solved for now. With a full match, when you're just connecting to a full match, so this is new, right? Because we were just connected with a partial match. The full match can have us feeling like it have us with a doubt and the imposter syndrome. Like, is this what I should be doing because I'm not making any money doing it yet? Like, does that mean I'm not doing the right thing? It's just the strange way that whatever this reality is, it's just a strange way that this tends to show up. It's like a test of your resolve, a test of your commitment. Are you willing to stick to this full match, what you think is a full match, until it bears fruit? Are you willing to stick to it? Are you willing to work? Are you willing to trust that this is the path for you? I promise you it's a test. Oh, it feels like such a test. A lot of us have trust wounds, trust issues. We don't have the faith. We don't have the belief. We're too unsure of ourselves. And so we dip out. We don't stick to it. That definitely happened to me. I mean, I was so sure. I was sure at that time. So for me to have hit a patch where I wasn't sure anymore, that's the destabilizing power of partial matches. It drained my energy. It broke me down. And it had me thinking anything other than that was not my path. Sinister. I'm telling you, I hate, hate the idea of partial matches and the actual partial matches that come up. We are missing out. All right, so I think I was trying to do a list and it's been like a long time since I said the first bullet. Oh, well, look, this is not going to be perfect. If I wait for perfect, I might not make any progress. It's better for me to make progress because it's still, whether it's a perfect podcast where I have no mistakes, I don't ramble. I mean, I don't think that would make it perfect, but let's just say that is what I thought a podcast should look like. Is there's no mistakes, there's no rambling, it's just straightforward. So in other words, not myself, not authentic. But if I waited until I could produce an episode that was like that, this is how months went by. This is what actually happened to me. Is I thought, well, those the episodes that I already made, those first four, I thought they were solid. Oh, but these other ideas I have, I don't know. I mean, do people care about this? Is somebody going to find value in that? Maybe let me wait for a better idea. And then all these months go by. So partial matches. The partial matches will have you crazy. I know you can relate. I know you can relate. You got partial matches and you trying to make every excuse under the sun as to why it's not that bad and why it's good enough. Explain to me, somebody, explain to me how avoiding full matches is better for you, than accepting full matches. Explain. Make that make sense. How is avoiding a full match? That's everything you want. How is avoiding that better than having it? That's a perspective for us to keep in mind. You know what? I still didn't finish that list. I just mentioned it. I swear. Jumping all around, jumping all around. All right. So my list was supposed to be, why do we need to do as if? So point number one, I already said, is because we don't know the nature of reality. So why don't we go for the bigger ask? Point number two is the one that I just made of, so where's the logic here? In how is avoiding a full match better than going for a full match? It's not. It can't be. If a full match gives you everything you wanted, but a partial match is missing one or more key things, how? How does that make sense? It doesn't. Partial matches have us thinking crazy, have us acting crazy. I think we should also consider that if we don't shine our beacon, our torch to its maximum visibility, that may be a reason why we're not seeing results, while we're not getting paired with full matches. Something else to consider. If you have it on dim, if you have your light on dim, it's on, but you got it on dim instead of full high beams, maybe it's possible that full matches will pass you up. Perhaps if I had more faith in myself and confidence in that I was on the right path earlier this year, and I didn't think, oh, well, okay, so hold on. The reason that I wanted to release episodes bi-weekly was because I was scared that I would run out of content if I released more often than that. I was scared. And so I thought, well, let me at least, I'm still going to release episodes, but hey, let me just go with bi-weekly. And then if I build up some confidence to where I don't think I'm going to run out of material, maybe then I'll change the frequency. Maybe part of the test for me was overcoming such a scarcity mindset and a fear-based mindset and thinking that I would run out, I wouldn't have enough, that I'm not abundant with value that I could share with others. Maybe part of my test was that if I had overcome that, maybe I wouldn't have even been in that partial match, that last job, that last classroom teaching job. Maybe. I don't know. I can't go back. I can't change it. But it makes me think that the blitzing idea, well, that's different. I haven't done that before. And I feel like I'm turning my light on. When I say my light, following my fire and letting it light my way forward. Is if I turn it up. Before I had it on dim. When I look back, yeah, that was on dim. I was scared, thinking, oh, let me just, maybe every other week I'll come up with something. Hopefully. Nah, now it's something's coming out. Something is coming out, and a whole lot of it is going to come out in the next 9 to 10 weeks before December 31st. We are doing it. We are cranking it up. This is exactly what I would want to be doing. Is I'm overflowing with ideas, and I can't wait 2 weeks to share some other nugget of wisdom. I cannot wait that long. I can't even wait 1 week. I could barely go 48 hours and I just have to jump on the mic. I got to speak. I got to share. That's what I want. So here I am doing it. I'm showing up and I'm doing it. I feel more empowered after having been broken down from the stupid job. I feel more empowered now because I'm cranking it up. I'm cranking it up in alignment with where exactly I want to be. This is exactly where I want to be. Could I spend more time doing this? Yes. However, some of my time is going towards a dang partial match in terms of earning money. It's this tutoring. It's this partial match. If only I shed that partial match, then I could spend all of my time, no interruptions, no dragging me down, turning me around, tripping me up. with partial matches. I'm cranking it up so I don't get as tripped up. This is my strategy right now. Check back with me and I'll let you know how it's going. I'm also guessing, based on how I hope reality works, is by showing all this interest, renewed and increased interest in being in alignment with what I truly want to be doing, that will forge the path. I'm trusting. I can't control it. I don't know if doing 25 episodes in 10 weeks will jumpstart things or turn things around or crank it up. I don't know, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try because it is at least aligned exactly where I want to be, right on the path, exactly where I want to be. And I'm trusting. Universe, show me that I'm on the right path. Show me, show me, show me. I got to do something too. Here I am doing it. So, what about you? Let's talk about you. What's a major relationship where you have a partial match? Is it work related? Is it relationship based? I mean, like a relationship partner? Is it something with your health? Is it something with doing meaningful work, even if it's as a hobby? Where's an area that you want to focus on where you know it's a partial match? So you've identified the area. If you need to, write it down. Today, we just been having a conversation. I haven't told anybody to take any notes. Some of you are studious. Thank you. I appreciate you. I see you taking notes anyways. Let's at least note in our minds, which relationship do you want to work on? Which partial match do you want to get ready to shed? Let's work on the transition period where we no longer have the partial match and we only have the full match. The idea is there, the framework is there. Shed partial matches, only accept full matches. Transitioning to get from one to the other, we want to make that period as short as possible. Start doing as if. What does that look like for you? Start doing as if. If you had a full match, what would you be doing? How would you be spending your time and energy? What would that look like? Okay, go ahead and do it. Do it. Do it. Even if you're not able to do it, say, full time. Do something. What if it's your health? Where you're like, I know I need to turn it around. Whatever the heck I'm doing, I'm not living the highest quality of life possible. I'm feeling some type of way about my health, and I know this is not the path. Well, turning our health around is not an overnight change that occurs. It's not like, all right, yesterday I was unhealthy. Today I'm healthy. There is a space in between where we are fading out one and bringing in the other. So as far as health, it's a gradual change. Even if you were to change your diet today, and it's totally different from every day before today, that doesn't mean today you're healthy. Are you making healthy choices today? Yes. But does that make you healthy? You're not there yet. So, health is one of those things where we can talk about it subjectively, we could talk about it objectively. As far as subjective and objective, I mean, you can say, oh, I feel good, I feel well rested, I'm not tired all the time, I'm not dependent on caffeine or other stimulants, and I don't need to do this, that, and the third in order to like feel satisfied and well. That's a subjective. Something objective would be like, all right, how much cholesterol is in your blood? Or are you borderline diabetic? Or are you diabetic, like type 2 diabetes lifestyle? Those are things that we could like measure objectively. We could just say, all right, first my cholesterol level, my bad cholesterol was like this number, now it's this number. Okay, it's gone down. But we have to have both. We have to have the inner and then the outer. So we also have to feel good. Can you make different choices today, right now? Yes. But you have to keep showing up. You have to keep making those decisions in order to fade out the bad, to fade out the partial match, and turn up and bring in the full match. That's an example dealing with health. Let me hit up some more examples. Let's say you want to make music and you want that to be your full-time thing. That's the way that you want to reach people. That's the way you want to connect. That's where you want to make an impact. That's where you want your legacy to be. That's where you want your story to lead to. That's where you want to take your adventure. All right, make music now. Make music now. Forget the planning. The planning, you'll come up because you go, well, maybe that wasn't the best way, or maybe there's a faster way. But don't let planning and preparation get in the way of progress. You need to do as if, not think as if. The thinking, that is one part, but do as if. I'm stressing doing. I'm stressing doing. You need to do as if. Make music right now. Even if it's trash. I'm sorry. It might be trash. That's okay. But at least get in there. Get in there. Get in the reps. Get in the new exercise. What it's like to actually be doing as if. Get in there and do it. Make something. You got this. Let's take it to relationship partner. Don't wait. Don't wait. Shed the partial match now. I mentioned this in the past about it. So if you're in a relationship with someone and say you only want to be with one person at a time, if you're with a partial match, so there's one or more key things that are missing, how will you attract a full match? Perhaps a full match to you is not going to be attracted to you. They will be repelled for you to be in this partial match. It may be that you got to be alone for a bit. You got to shake that off in order to be open to renew your outlook, to be ready to receive a full match. Or how about maybe there's something about you that you've been keeping secret, but you feel it's core to your identity? You got to let that go. Bring out the real you. Be you. You're the only one that can be you. Why would you try to be anything else? You're the only one who can be you. Why deprive yourself of being who you really are? Do as if. Partial matches keep us imprisoned. They're not what we actually want. If we commit ourselves to something we don't actually want, we're imprisoned. We're in prison. How is that better than being free? I understand maybe you're scared. Maybe there's somebody out there listening right now and you're scared to be yourself, to go for your biggest dreams, to do as if. Maybe you're scared. Okay. Be scared and still do it. That's possible. You can be scared and still do it. If we spend our whole lives misaligned, Actual alignment sounds foreign. If we spend our whole lives misaligned, for many people, that's not an easy concept to change. That's not an easy mindset to change. That's what partial matches can do to us. They beat us down so much that they have us thinking that's the best we can do. But then we come up with all these excuses for why that must be the case instead of doing what requires bravery. You need to have courage. Yes, you need to have courage. That just looks like how things go. Partial matches are easy. There's no shortage of partial matches. Also hold the belief, though, that there's no shortage of full matches either. So why not go for the full matches? If you think there are few and far between, there aren't very many, and you're lucky to get them, that's having low standards. That's having those low standards, baby. You looking down there, we need to be looking up here. Our focus needs to be way up here, not way down there. There are plenty of full matches. Maybe it's hard for you to see them because of your partial matches. They're weighing you down. They're clouding your judgments. I know this, and I know you know this too. There is so much to navigating our lives with partial matches. There is so much to it. This is not the end of the conversation, okay? I will be coming back to this. That's how relevant it is. For now, though, I'm going to end the episode, and I'll leave you with this insight. Do as if you were aligned with a full match. Thank you for listening to Power Podcast with Queen Beauté, because transformation begins the moment your mind awakens to its power.